What does executive presence look like in a hybrid work world? In an office setting, we have 7 full seconds to make a first impression using our nonverbal body language cues. The strength of your handshake, your eye contact, your posture, these are all important cues, and they often are seen as the keys to powerful executive presence. But online, many of those cues are lost in translation. So what does executive presence look like online? The fundamentals are the same. Regardless of medium, leaders with strong presence are present, calculated, and careful. Now, let's start talking about this. First, your attitude informs your body language. Who would you be more drawn to in a meeting? Someone who walks in hurriedly, sighing and complaining about their last meeting, slouching in their closest seat? Or someone who walks in excited, with good posture, asking everyone how they're doing? The second one, of course, not just because they're smiley, but their attitude was positive. So think about the energy you want to embody and how that affects your organization. Executive presence in a hybrid work environment requires a heightened level of preparation. Leaders are really busy. So executive presence is a house that's in order with digital meetings that demand more preparation than in-person ones. Lastly, leaders with great executive presence empower their teams to work without them. They understand that they can't answer every small question or re-edit projects themselves. They have to create a team where they can trust to make the right choice when they're not around. Now, here are a few tips to help you empower your teams in a hybrid workplace. First, create norms to encourage self-starting and individual problem solving. For example, teams with several individuals working on similar tasks can implement co-working rules, requiring team members to consult with 2 colleagues of the same level if they have a problem or question they can't figure out. If 3 team members still can't figure it out together, they go to the executive for further guidance. This method is great. Not only does it allow team members to build trust and learn and rely on each other, but also it allows them to approach the leader with ideas that they've already tried to solve the issue. The second tip is to serve as a mentor. An executive is a mentor. Leaders aren't just there to serve as schedulers or give orders. Teaching is a part of your role. I tell my C-suite clients that the goal of mentoring their team is to have 2 or 3 people that can fill in for you as an executive when you need to shift priorities or take a vacation. And lastly, create cross-functional SWOT teams. T-Mobile, for example, uses cross-functional teams so that their customer reps, tech specialists, salespeople can reach people across silos and solve problems. Next, let's talk about some concrete ways to show this executive presence and create ownership across different digital mediums. Great leaders treat video and phone conversations as if they were happening in person. So I'm going to share now 5 tips to show executive presence as a great hybrid work executive. You can follow our worksheet on executive presence. The first is simple. If you're on a video call, turn your camera on. The camera restores some of the body language cues that digital communication takes away. It allows your team to see you. Obviously, it's hard to do when you're on the road or traveling, but videos matter. Second, set your cell phone and other devices to do not disturb. Virtual meetings naturally hold a larger potential for distraction when compared to in-person meetings. As an executive, you don't want to be getting distracted by an incoming email while your team is sharing something important with you. And since you're on camera, your body language will give you away if you try to multitask. Third, back up on the video camera. The biggest advantage of video over other mediums is the ability to see body language. Scientists disagree about the exact numbers, but most estimate body language makes up anywhere between 70 to 90% of our communication. That means most of our message and the trust we get from the other person comes not from what we say, but our hand gestures, facial expressions, tone, pitch. Take advantage of the visual nature of video calls. As an executive, position yourself far away enough from the camera so that everyone can see your hand gestures, but not too far that they can't see your facial expressions. Generally, this means that your camera should be showing you from the chest up. The ability to see your hands moving, and it's okay, even your dog in the background, creates an environment for authenticity. Next, look at the camera. Now, according to a study by Quantified Analytics, adults make eye contact 30 to 60% of the time when we're having in-person conversations. But really, we should be making eye contact about 60% of the time if we want to create emotional connections. Luckily, there's a way to imitate this on video calls by simply looking at the camera rather than our surroundings or our own on-screen thumbnails. If your eye naturally falls to your thumbnail, check in to see in the app if you're able to minimize your video or simply move your thumbnail as close to the camera as possible so it's less distracting when you glance down to look at it. If you have to review slides or documents, don't overthink your camera or looking into the camera all the time. Naturally review the documents and then make eye contact again like you would in a meeting room. Lastly, pay attention to everyone else's thumbnails. Especially during long meetings, team leaders should be checking the gallery view to see if anyone is disengaged, confused, or having accessibility issues. Now, as you can see from the Executive Presence worksheet, there are a lot of great ways to improve your presence. And successful leaders are self-aware. They have a willingness to address their own shortcomings with this and ask themselves, in my ways I've engaged with my team, what did and didn't go well today? What did I do that can contribute to the team's success or failure? And how can I be better tomorrow? These are important questions that will give us an opportunity to grow our leadership.